again.
Gremlins.
Let's rewind. It's Black Friday, isn't it?
It's Black Friday.
It's Black Friday.
Okay. Right, you ready? I
Yeah,
gave our friends
we
a
got
few.
sound.
Can you hear me now? Yay.
It's only 10 o'clock. So what we said leading up to it doesn't matter.
Right, now it's 10 o'clock. Right, ready?
Action.
Hi. My name's Barbara, and this is Paul, and it's Grey Friday, and we have sound. Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go back over what we said. Grey Friday, Black Friday, for lots of different companies.
Yeah.
The world and its brother have been celebrating Black Friday since June, basically.
Yeah.
And so have we since Monday, but we decided that, yesterday was Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I did have the kids on the phone because they are in America, and it was definitely yesterday. And so we decided that today it is Black Friday. And so we really ought to do something really irresistible for yourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why we've decided to launch Grey Friday properly today.
Indeed.
Like irresistibly. So even if you've been shopping this week,
mm-hmm.
there's nothing here that was in...
No, the prices haven't changed at all. So
well, they have, massively.
They have,
but none of you
nobody has purchased it at home.
No, we know. We've worked it out. We spent a lot of time doing this. So there's nobody going to be disgruntled and say, well, I wish I'd waited a week. No, you didn't need to.
Absolutely.
So, Paul, that threw us a little bit with the no volume, but that's okay.
We're back.
It's live TV. That's the way it works.
It is indeed.
So you want to show us now?
I thought if we have a look at our website, maybe our friends are tuning in, because we've done a few little things on the website, haven't we, of late?
Yes.
Since we started doing Clarity Social TV.
Yeah.
And maybe you're just tuning in for the first time. So
what you were going to do, first of all, though, was show them where the special area is on
special area.
Yeah, so on the website, because it's Grey Friday. Get in. Right, because it's Grey Friday.
I'll go downstairs.
We put a special area in the website on the front page so that all these really, really irresistible bundles and stamps are available in one place.
Yes.
You will have received an email if you do get our newsletter today. And I wrote personally to you because I am a stamper. And this is definitely a stamp sale today. Yeah. And I know that some of the bundles, they're very, very expensive. They are what we would call a considered purchase. And so we looked at them yesterday and I said, I think if I were a stamper, I've got lots of wish lists. And I would say, oh, you know what, that's a little bit beyond my budget. Well, what we've done is we've taken a really big selection of stamps and we've put them into one area on the website and we've reduced them by 60% plus your club discount. Now, that means then that you need to look at it to grasp what that means. Maybe some of those big bundles, those big collections that you've been sitting on the fence about because it is a considered purchase. Stamps cost money.
Definitely.
Now's the time to have a look at what we're doing. And now I'm going to let you take over.
Okay. So let's go to the front of our website and we've got this lovely Grey Friday 60% off Clarity stamps. Click into that button there and you will find everything in one place. Okay. Now, when I have a look at this is one of Barb's favourite stamp sets. This is Annie's Flyaway collection, the A5 stamp set. Normally $19.99, save £12. So you're going to pay $7.99 for an A5 stamp set plus your Clarity Craft Club discount.
Wow.
So if you're a Diamond member, you're going to get 15% off of that on top.
Well, okay. So here we got the Christmas Poppets, A5, same again.
Same saving.
But what I'm interested in, can I go up here?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go on here to price high to low. I'm going to go price high to low because that's obviously where the biggest bundles are. Right, so let's take, for example, here, right, this bundle, all the
those
texture, mixed impressions.
Yeah.
Right, so these are a huge bundle.
They are.
If we look here, it's £109 plus your club discount, but it's from 273. That's how much that set. I'm not surprised that nobody's ever tucked into that. So I get it in totally. Look at this one though. So Barbara's large block print. These are beautiful,
Really, really lovely, aren't they?
beautiful two-way, right? So we look at that now, and you can see here, you've got a stamp collection that's worth £169 for £67 plus. So you're saving £101.
Yeah,
you know,
that's madness, isn't it? But I suppose that's what Black Friday, Grey Friday is all about, bringing some super deals to our friends at home.
And here's this one.
Yes.
Right. So actually, there it is.
So
you can
we're
see
gonna
it here.
Swap that over to bring up the details on the screen.
And this is actually one of the ones that is on the counter today. This is one of the ones, one of my favourites. It's Barb's lino cuts. You know, I got into lino cutting, and we put together a really comprehensive set. Paul, take over the pricing on this.
Okay, so the item number for this product is 11729. Okay, this should be £107.90. You are going to save £64.74 and only pay £43.16
for all of that.
For all of that. Now, if I put that into perspective, for many of our friends at home, for example, this large stamp set here, this large stamp set here, the A4, is £29.99 normally. Okay.
Yes.
So for an extra £13, you're getting all of that.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, you know, and that's really what I'm trying to say is that, you know, let's make, I get lots of ads, lots of promotions on my phone all the time. Black Friday, Black Friday, Black Friday, Black Friday, 10% off, 10% off, 10% off, 10%. And I think, you know, that's not exciting enough for me. I haven't spent any money on anything.
Nope.
Not yet.
Me neither.
But I would say if I'm a stamper and I'm a Clarity fan and I'm looking at these prices, then it becomes irresistible. If I can afford it, I'm going to go for it now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? And Chris, I know Chris was just around the corner, but these are lovely little treats for yourself, aren't they? So as Barb said, if it's been on that wish list and you're thinking, oh no, next time it's on offer, next time it's on offer, this.
And it's not a loaf of bread; it's a one-time purchase.
No,
what I mean is, it's not a perishable, is it?
No,
if it's gone, it's, you know, it doesn't go off. If you know, and you only have to buy these once. You know, at these prices, you could buy them twice. But so what I wanted to suggest is that perhaps we just look at some of the different sets.
So if we look on the overhead, I'll change the L down the side. So this is the lino cut collection
that we're just looking at. Yeah.
So the item number for that is 11729.
Okay, and you can see here, this is the one that we're talking about. So you can see exactly what it says on the screen once again here, and it includes all these different lino cuts. I got into lino cutting when I got into printmaking. Now you can order on the phone with Sue downstairs, or you can order online.
Absolutely. And all you need to do is quote that number at the top of the screen.
Now, before we even go any further, I think we ought to flag up Freebie
Friday.
Much
going on, isn't there?
Yeah, I know. I tell you what it is, friends. That threw us. When you're going live and you're all pumped up to go at 10 o'clock, and then suddenly the door opens and people start coming in going no sound, no sound. It throws you big time.
Like all of a sudden someone's pulled the plug, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you have to rewind. It's like writing a letter, and then you get a power cut, and then you've got to rewrite it. So it's a little bit. Take us a couple of minutes to get back. Bear with us. I'm sure you understand. And the other thing is we can't see the chat, so we couldn't even see that was going on at the moment. Okay, so one of the things that we also introduced for today
only,
is another little treat called Friday Freebie.
Yeah.
So if you spend £50 or more, you get one of these beautiful paper packs with these lace. It's really, really nice. So if you spend £50 or more, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Because I remember Dee designed this.
And you chose them. And so there's two different packs. You'll get one of the two different packs.
But it's very, very beautiful quality paper. And you'll see you get two different, let me show you what you get so you can understand. I think I need to pan out a little bit here. Sorry about that. So you can see here, you get these beautiful colours, just perfect for stamping on, layering up, cutting out.
And it really does look as if the lace has been embedded into
it really
the
looks
paper,
like real lace.
It?
So you get a pack of the papers if you spend £50 or more.
Yeah.
And if you spend £75 or more, you get that, and you get a free rollerblade.
I know, that's
Rollerblade.
a rollerblade.
Rollerblade.
We can go rollerblading if we want. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, that is £4.99 for a tape runner, and the paper pack I think is £2.99.
So this is just a gift from us.
It is indeed.
On Black Friday freebie.
Friday freebie, absolutely.
And then the other thing we wanted to mention, which I don't think has been talked about yet.
No, so all orders placed during our Grey Friday sale, which launched on Monday, and it continues until midnight Monday of next week. One person will win a golden ticket, okay? And if you happen to get that golden ticket in your parcel, what it means, you'll get a complete refund of that order that it has been enclosed with. So that's another reason. So, I mean,
marvelous, really.
Many of our friends at home, I've seen the orders coming in, placing several orders.
Yeah.
So I think they've seen the emails that we've been sending out on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Seen that there's a golden ticket on opportunity.
Oh, I see. And then
Yeah.
so that increases their chances of being randomly selected.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention any names, but there is one particular customer that as soon as the email goes out, they place another order. And I'm thinking, they've seen the golden ticket again. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I think by the end of those 8 days, that particular friend will have 8 opportunities of winning a golden ticket.
Marvelous. So let's have a look at these wonderful bundles that we're showcasing today. So we've looked at the big one.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's the highlight of the day. Now we've got another set here, which is the block print. I think the Woodland block print set.
This is lovely, isn't it? I remember when you designed this, Barb, and it was one of those ones that it was a go-to, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very nice. And you can see the product code is 31159, and the savings, Paul.
Yep, so you're going to save £42.56 and only pay £28.37. So you're going to get all of those A6 stamp sets, plus the 2 embedders that have been designed to complement these designs. And there's lots of little infills on this collection, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, that's right. Lots of lovely little stamps. So it'd be nice. I'm looking forward to showing you a demo with that one. Then the next one are Clarity Classics.
This is a real classic, isn't it? So the item number for this collection, look at that price.
Yeah.
£23.18.
So you've got a Dippy Toe Lady, you've got the Boy Gone Fishing, you've got Blustery Day, you've got Daffodilly, Daydreamer, and the Couple Kissing.
And it's also a white Pergamano gel pen as well.
And so you're paying
£23
for that lot?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, let me put it into perspective there, okay, because it's a printout. Okay, so for this, you're going to get that. You're going to get that.
I'm just going to go and get a headache.
You're going to get that. You're going to get that. You're going to get that. And you're going to get that. And in addition, you're going to get your Pergamano white gel pen. All of that for £23.18. Plus, if you're in any of the Clarity Craft clubs, you're also going to get your club discount on top. Then we have another, this is one of my favorites. These are our silhouette stamps, and these were launched over the course of the year. And what you're going to get here, this should be £99.95. You're going to save £59.97 and pay £39.98. So you're going to pay for 2, and you're going to get those 3 for free. Then you'll get your craft club discount on top of that. And then finally, what we want to showcase during this hour is the floral sprays. So these are the A6 floral spray stamp sets. So you've got Barb's Chinese Lanterns, you've got the Ginkgo from Barb, you've got the Starflower, Daffodil, Poppies, Wildflowers, Poppies. That was the original floral spray. £31.97. These are £10 each. So you're paying for 3 of them, and you're going to get all of those for free.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, one of the things I really, really love about this particular set, this is a kind of a collaboration between Tina Cox and myself. And what I love about these is you can see these solid black elements.
Yeah.
They are infills. So these are 2-way overlay stamps. So this is like painting by stamp. I mean, really, really
Ah,
fantastic. So you can see they're actually numbered. If you come in close, you'll see that these individual stamps, you see the little tiny stamps
oh,
are numbered.
yes.
And so you can see that it tells you exactly where to go with what stamp.
On the indexing sheet that the stamps come on.
Really marvellous.
And if I'm right in thinking, on Sunday, you've got a little trick to show us with a similar technique,
Yeah,
haven't
that's
you?
right. Absolutely. So we've had a look at, Sunday 3 to 5, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, first Sunday of the month.
And that will be, well worth coming in to see. I think you'll really enjoy that. Can I give you that,
Can
Paul?
Borrow those two from you as well.
Okay, so we've given you a rough overview of the big bundles, the irresistible stuff. You know, I'm another thing about my way of shopping. This is the way I shop. Is I buy something in a sale that I couldn't afford otherwise. That's where, I kind of, if I'm going to buy anything, I buy stuff. You know, that leather jacket that I couldn't possibly afford
when it was first launched.
Then I wait and I wait. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I think it's nice to have that flexibility, isn't it? Because many of our friends at home, they've been with us for many, many years, and they would have seen the TV shows. Now we're doing Clarity Social TV.
Yes.
You can go back and watch all of the previous episodes as well. And it's nice to have the chat in the chat room and the interaction.
Sure is.
We can't see that this morning because we're obviously controlling the graphics. But it's all about the sharing, and you've got Groovy Worldwide, Clarity Worldwide, and to get the word out
Pergamano Worldwide.
To get that word out there, share it with your friends. If you go to craft clubs, say, oh, have you seen Clarity Social TV? And if they don't know what you're going on about, just point them, claritycrafts.com. You go straight to the front page and you'll be able to see the live shows.
There you go.
And you go to that little turquoise button called Clarity TV. You click there and you can go back.
Right, so let's have a look. What we wanted to do as well was just take a look at, single out one of the sets.
Yes.
I wanted to go to this set. And
I knew you was going to go for that one.
I want to go to that set first. So if you wouldn't mind, let's just take a look at this artwork and then we'll look at some beautiful samples.
Yeah. So this is Barbara's Woodland Art Blocks A6 Stamp and Embedders collection.
So let's just look at the artwork in real time here. So you can see these are nice, big, bold, beautiful little cat images. You can really see what's on offer here. So you've got really lovely. Let's look at the artwork that we've developed, and you can see that these little assets, as we call them, the little elements underneath, are also really good and great to use. Okay, so butterflies, bees, these are great, just handy to have.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look at the price, I'm still working here on this set. So you've got
so it's £28.37.
That's
the item
all
number
of them.
for all of those. And you get the two little embedders as well.
You get a pair of embedders as well.
So right angle and a curved angle.
This one's got a rounded edge.
Is it a radial? Is that?
Yeah, that's it. So one's got a like rounded there, one's like that and one's like that. So that's nice as well.
Okay, so if we have a look at some artwork, I believe, is this one of yours?
It is.
Oops,
it
there
is.
We go.
Yeah, so you can see here, because of the way they're designed, the background becomes your color palette. So I've just used, if you look at it here, I've just used a colored blend of distress oxides and then the embedder around the outside, and it's. I'll show you how to do that.
And
later.
Are the stars?
Yeah.
So the stars, that's already in the stamp, isn't it?
That's right. So when you stamp out the stars, the stamp.
Okay. So let's have a look here. So if I bring in the little display board. Okay. So with the black that we're looking at here, this is the color that Barb's applied. So the white is what doesn't have the ink put on there. And because I wasn't sure whether those stars were a separate stamp, and I couldn't work out whether you then had to lift the color off, but it's already built into the stamp set. Okay.
Right, yeah, forgive me a minute. I've got a little bit of a situation.
And then if we bring this one in here, so this one here is using the Relax stamp set. And then you can combine the different stamps. So this is some of
Julie,
the
can you get rid
outline
of this
stamps.
There, it just went
so this is using the
I've got to do a demo with it.
just like so. And this grass is very useful. You can see here, it can ground what it is you're doing. But look, just take the little bunny rabbit on its own. I reckon that's a Sarah Brennan on that one. Oh, it's a James Telford. There we go. And then you can see how you can mix and match it with.
Can I come in with this
yeah.
masterpiece?
There we go.
Look at that by Dee. Absolutely marvelous, isn't it? You know, and there's another one with the toadstool. Yeah, I mean, really. And now look at this one. Oh. So you can see how you can multiple in the background, but because the black is actually the stamp. So the image is quite interesting when you can see. Let's look here. So the white now is embossed, so it's created a mask. You see? So it's very good. And then this one, for example, this is lovely. It's just solid black and it's on color.
Oh, so you can stamp it out onto maybe some of the designer papers.
There you go. Now go back to this one and you can see here, because we've used green in the background, but the little elements like the cats and so here I can put the cat in on top of in black. So now it becomes your canvas, if you like. So what I wanted to do is just have a look at the stamps, and if I could just give you that.
Yeah, let's take those out of the way.
Right, and then what I wanted to do is just do two really simple demos using that one and
there we go.
That one. Right, so we've got them there, and you can see. I think the idea, what I wanted to do was just take the toadstool, and just show you what it looks like, so you actually see. Let's have a look at these.
It's like from start to finish then, isn't it? If you get this home, then...
So, for example, I'm going to take that toadstool, pop it on there like so, and then press the mega mount down on there.
There are 4x4 mega mounts, which you'll find on the website.
So I've got all these other little elements, which are beautiful. Little squirrel, a snail, dragonflies, a moon. It's all going on here, right? But this is the first thing I want to do. So if I take a black archival ink pad there, okay, and let's go to, just to show you how these work, let's do a simple demo. If I go to Indian Summer, these are the design toppers.
These are lovely. I remember when we launched these.
I designed these were the original ones, using alcohol inks.
Yeah, and that was the original size of the artwork, wasn't it?
That's right, 5x7 UPO paper. But this is really beautiful printed. You get 48, there are 12 different designs, 48 cards. And I know that Sue downstairs, if she's sending a message or she wants to put a little note in a card, she takes the card like that, folds it over like so, does that like that, and then writes her card in there.
Nice.
And then she
little notelets,
just like that. Yeah, which is quite interesting. So if I were thinking along those lines, right, then then that will be the front.
Yes.
Let's humor me here. This will be the front.
Okay.
So if that's the front, let's go for it. So these are like 48 really fabulous little notelets if you look at it like Sue does it. And I thought I'm going to take that.
It's nice, isn't it? Because if you want to put a note in that, say you're sending someone either a package or something, and you don't want to put it on a piece of paper, it looks so much nicer on the inside of one of these.
Exactly. So now I'm just taking a black archival ink pad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to I've got to decide what's the front. That'll be the front for me there.
Okay.
Right. And then I can decide if I want to use stickers.
Yes.
If you could just... you know, I could maybe put a little sticker message on the front, but let's just see what happens if I just ink this up with black. So it's literally solid black ink pad, permanent. Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to offer this up to the center. I can fold it if I choose to first, so I know it's bang in the middle of it. But for the sake of this demo, because we really want to focus on, I was going to more focus on the art samples and the designs than technique today.
Yeah. And we have a selection of various different sticker books. You've got the KISS ones, which item number is 31323. You've got the Clarity Christmas and Celebrations, item number 30932. One of the latest editions, which I think are really lovely, are the Pinky Grey stickers. And the item number for that is 31639.
I'm just going to interrupt here because I'm just showing you what I do.
Okay.
What I'm doing here is I'm just cleaning, because it's solid black and I'm using an archival ink pad. So I'm using rubbing alcohol, right? Just to explain.
Right, okay.
And if I clean that stamp before the ink dries completely, just with a bit of rubbing alcohol, polymer stains, it does, right? But I just wanted to show you that it doesn't have to be solid black. It's still translucent. I can still see through it.
Yeah.
If I leave it on there to dry, then it will get opaque. You won't be able to see through it anymore. So by doing it like this, what you'll see is that you can, it kind of keeps the the translucency of the stamp
so it doesn't
available
clog
to
it
you.
up.
That's right. And then you could just return it to its base. See, so you get a pack of 4 of these, is that right?
Yep. Julia will give me the number for the mega mounts, but everything on our website is in the Grey Friday sale. So just put in 4x4 mega mount on the search and you'll be able to find that. Now, I've had a lovely message from Lillian. Lillian says, since the demise of CNC, being part of the Clarity community has awakened her crafting energy.
Oh,
isn't that lovely?
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that message. It's awakened mine as well, Lillian. I'll tell you that. Nothing like a bolt from the of lightning to wake you up. Yeah. Necessity is the mother of invention and all that good stuff.
Just shows that it's not scripted, doesn't it?
So then you can see how solid black that can be, you know, like really, really intense, isn't it?
It does, yeah.
Now I want to show you something. If I let's say, here's one I did earlier. I wanted it to dry.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted it to dry. Just let me give you a couple of little tips. If I were to take my
tool
organizer and grab my this is
let me bring it. Can we show it front so that everyone can see? Okay, so you've got my one's outside.
I'm a traveling crafter at the moment because I'm bouncing between the studio at home and the studio here. So this is so important for me because it has pretty much all my
like the kitchen sink in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got everything in here. So even if if I forget something, if I've got this with me, chances are I haven't forgotten. So you can see here, if I show you, I've got all my tools, I've got my groovy stuff, I've got my pencils,
craft knife.
I've got my craft.
Japanese craft knife. I spotted that on the next page. Look how many pages you're getting. Not pages.
Sides. I've got craft knife, I've got all my tools, I've got my multi-needle tools, I've got my pencils, I've got my Perga colours, I've got my scissors, got a pair of that, I've got all my scissors, I've got everybody's scissors, I've got and then I've got more tools, and then I've got a load of stuff in the back that usually is what I need. So there you go. What I'm after is that red.
Right, so these are our Perga liner pencils, which will also be in the, I know for a fact they're £20.99.
Where are you going?
And the item code, just getting the item code for that, is 70063.
Okay,
so,
okay. He found it round the back.
Round the back. It's amazing what you find round the back.
Right, so you can see here I've taken my pencil, and what I've done is I've just gently, I've added, because toadstools tend to be red, so I'm just adding a little bit of shadow. Let me show you on the one that I'm working on now. Right, you can just pick up the color and you can add color to the design topper, is my point. So you can, we were doing this in the shack last night, which was quite nice, just shading, you know. I just showed a couple of tricks with shading yesterday.
The shepherds, shading the shepherds.
Shading the shepherds, yeah. So you can see how the B pencils, especially because they're oil based, you can use them over the top of the designer papers and the designer toppers, and you know, you could get a really great I'll just show you that. If I offer it up, you can see how you can add the shadow there.
Nice.
If I bring this down to this, the angle on the camera is a little bit off on this one, but let's say, for example, if I just add a bit of shadow here underneath there, whether I use grey or red, you can see here, see how I'm just picking up the colour and adding a little bit of difference. I can use grey pencils, but I'm just going with red because I've got it in my hand. And then once I've done that and I've got that shadow in, then I can take one of our blending nibs and I can dry blend that color in, because it also works beautifully on, see how you can just,
Yeah,
dry,
so there's
and it
no
gets rid of that
Dorsa
granular
oil on there, so it's just a dry blend with our blending pens.
Yeah.
And the item number for the Pergamano blending pen will be.
See, then once you've added the blending, the B pencil, and you want to add a bit more depth, like really nice depth of red there. See how you're getting a really cool.
That really makes a difference. So if you want a blending pen with some nibs,
yep,
70440.
Marvelous. And then the only other thing I wanted to show you was, like, I know that these particular toadstools, they also, these are used, tend to be white.
Oh, right, okay.
So if you're looking now for a white, let me just grab a piece of black to test the white Posca pens. We've got these in stock as well.
We have indeed. So if you put Posca in the search bar, we've got the fine one that Barb's using now. We have a medium nib, and we also have them in black, the white, gold, and silver.
But I want to show you, because I know now that this is dry.
Yes.
Right, and I'm going in, but I'm leaving a little bit of the black. Look. So what you're doing is you're using the stamp, but you're using the black underneath those little dots as a kind of a drop shadow.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Right. So now I can go in here, and rather than completely cover up, I'm getting in touch. You get it?
Yeah. So it's because you've added the shading with the pencil on the toadstool itself.
Yeah.
And now by introducing the white on top of the black,
yeah,
it's adding that automatic shading, isn't it?
There you go. I mean, on those bits, I'm going to add the shading outside, but look how that changes.
It really, all of a sudden that's popped off the screen.
Yes.
It really has.
And if it was snowing, just saying, right, if it was snowing, then this would be, once it's dry and you bring the snow in, how nice is this?
That is, isn't it?
Okay, so I just wanted to show you how you can take a plain, just one stamp
from that
there
collection.
You go. That'll do for a demo.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. So what we can, if I give you the item number for that complete collection, is 31159, and you're going to get 7 of those A6 stamp sets plus the 2 embedders as well. You're saving £42.56. Now, as we said earlier, we've got a number of other designs on the show that it really is. I mean, 60% off. It really is a sort of a crazy price. I think if we have a look at one of the other collections, which is that main one, can we have a look at the pack shop, Barb?
Of course.
On that one. So this one, I really love this. I mean, I haven't got the skill with doing the lino cutting. I did it back at school when I was like 15 or 16. But this, and I remember when you did it and you had the original artwork on that.
Yeah.
So that is that complete collection there. The item number is 11729 and a £43 saving.
But I want to go back to that same collection that I just,
of course, yes.
Yeah, because I've shown you now how to just take that stamp and do a solid black.
Yeah.
Because it's negative art. I hate the word negative art, but it is negative art, because what we're doing here, if I can show you, you're bringing out the toadstool, but the actual stamp is the background. And I'm going to do the same thing now with this, but instead of here where it's black and you're relying on the coloured paper, now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to stamp it onto white. So of course it follows that what I've got to do now is introduce colour onto the actual stamp, and the stamp becomes like a kind of a colour palette. So if I pop that on the black, then perhaps you can see better what I'm up to.
Okay.
So I've got choices now.
Yeah.
Before we went solid black to show you that, and then we brought the toadstool out through the colour this way. So this time, what we want to do, if we could just have a look at a couple of pieces of artwork, then what? Yeah, there you go. That's one. So this, for example, is a perfect example of how to use, instead of black now, you're using a light colour so that you can. You bring out the deer in their negative form, or the tree, see the little birds in the tree, you bring them out by focusing on the background. So what we're going to do, and I really particularly like this tree, because then of course you've got enough space now to introduce the little elements around the outside.
Nice.
So how do you put colour on that?
Okay.
Obviously I could just take an archival green for a solid colour.
Okay.
But say I want that mottled look that I've got, the mottled look from that big Christmas card, Paul.
This one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to gouge you. If you look here, you can see it's got quite a starry night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see if we can emulate that.
Okay.
So what we're going to use there to do that is our oxides.
Yeah.
Right, and if I just pick a couple of different oxide colours, these are the ones that really respond beautifully. Let's see if I can find a good oxide or two. I've got a stormy sky. I did have a couple of dark ones. I don't know where I've put them, but I'm sure we'll find something cool. Bear with me a minute. I had a dark blue. Where have I put that? Here we go. Let's go with Blueprint Sketch. That's quite nice. And I'll use that fossilized yellow. There you go. And if I need a little bit of green, I've got that as well. Choices. So what I want to do now is grab some spot-on sponges. So that's really the key now to applying these inks.
Okay.
Let's put a little bit of yellow there. Cool, that's a lot, Barbara.
Did you say a little?
Oh dear.
So if you're interested in the spot-on sponges, you can get 4 packs, which gives you 64 spot-on sponges, and the item number is 31215.
So when you start to add ink to the actual stamp, you see, you can build it up like so by going direct, or you can take the colour from the ink pad with a spot-on sponge and then bring it down like so. So what we're doing is, and you'll see when the blue hits the yellow, you get a lovely green. So you're using the stamp almost like a
mixing palette.
A colour palette. So let's just see if this is going to do the job for us, and then we'll take it from there. And I'm adding a little tiny bit of depth around the bottom here as well, and we'll see if it works. So this is, you can see how I've just taken a couple of stamps just to show you, and then and once you've got both of these tricks off pat, you'll understand it. So now if I take this and I'll use a little spritzer bottle. Let's just take a little spritzer bottle. I think we've got these, haven't we?
They're on the website. You get a pack of 5 of these.
Do you? So you don't need too much.
Stop.
Let's see if it works. So what we're going to do now is it might be a little bit light, but we'll give it a go, and you'll see how the colour now, even though when you
saw how it moves when you applied the pressure.
Yeah, you just add a little bit of water, and what it does is it gives you a really great mottled effect. I hope so. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, isn't that wonderful? So when you lift that up, you can see it's like starry night.
Yeah.
And that was just 2 colours. I love it when it works. So there you go. Those are the 2 colours that I used. And when the green, which is nowhere here, you achieve that with the spot-on
sponges.
So sorry.
If you want some sponges, item number 31215, all in the Grey Friday sale.
Now, the other thing that comes with this kit, and then we'll move on to the other big set. The other thing that comes with this particular set is, of course, those embedders.
I know.
So I'm cleaning the stamp at the same time. I thought it'd be good if you're going to spend some money on this big collection, then you want to know how to protect your stamps as well. So the idea that what I do is I usually you can spritz it with water, and then that will remove. See, the distress oxides are water soluble.
Yeah.
So you can get rid of the ink perfectly. It's like a new stamp. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's like a new stamp. And then what you're going to do is peel it off there, put it, because you've got a lot of them. If you've got storage folders, happy days.
Yeah, check out the claritycraft.com website just put storage folders in, and you'll find a selection available, all in the Grey Friday sale.
There you go. And the other thing that is worth noting, and that's why I had a little bit of a mishap earlier. You've got another piece of acetate that you put down here, and it protects your
your stamp
your
when you put
stamp
it back
set.
into the packaging.
That's it. Because otherwise, see, if you stick this with shiny card on top of it, it sticks. So I don't know where they are, but
There we go.
Yeah, here we go.
See-through, you can't see
it
it.
anyway, but there's a little bit of acetate here, and then you just stick that on top like so, and then that protects your stamp.
Yes.
So I'd taken that away earlier, ready to do the demo.
Yeah.
And then I went and put the carrier sheet on there,
top.
and then it stuck. So I had to, Julie had to do a little bit of a rescue operation for me. Oh, it's all go today, isn't
I know,
it?
it's one of those Friday, isn't it? I'm just
Oh,
glad
damn.
it's not the 13th.
Isn't it?
No, I know.
I was born on Friday the 13th.
Was you?
Should have known. Should have known. Friday the 13th. My mum always says, "Oh, it's a very lucky day for me," and I'm like, not feeling it at the moment.
That's nice, though, isn't it? If it was lucky for your mum, that
I'm
for
not
Friday the
feeling
13th.
it right now, Paul.
So, okay, so if you love this collection that Barbara's just been showcasing, it's Barbara's Woodland Art Blocks A6 Stamp and Embedder collection.
Embedder. So if we take our little piece of artwork that we've just done, and then we've got our two embedders. So let me just show you. I'm using, just for your information, again, invaluable 3.5 by 3.5 inch. You got to get yourself a pack of that. Okay, and then we need some low tack tape.
Yeah.
So let's get this as well. And we're gonna, we've got choices actually. Actually, I like doing this now. I'm over that. So I'm going to pick up the embedder like so.
Okay.
With the low tack tape. And then I'm going to just pop it down like that. And then I'm just going to lift this up. I know you're wondering, I'm just lifting it up like so, because in a minute I'm going to go over that with a, then I'm going to take, a piece of card, something so that you can see it.
Yeah.
Like so, right? Because in a minute, when I lift this up like this, I'm going to turn that over, and that's the side that I'm going to work on. See, so I've turned it over
always
now.
The embedder always goes on the front.
Yeah, so the embedder's on the front now.
Yeah.
When I turn this round, see, I don't want it to move. So I'm just going over the card with my finger or my thumb, just to get it started.
Okay.
Right, so that's the first thing. Then I'm going to get my tool.
Yeah.
And I can use a tumble dry sheet. Sometimes this helps just glide a bit.
Yeah.
So if I just use the tumble dryer sheet, now I'm not sure. Let me see if you can see. Not really. I don't know if you can see. I think this is probably the better camera. You can see where I'm.
There you go.
Yeah, you're starting to see it.
Yeah.
But the tumble dryer sheet just is same with the groovy. It helps just.
For the tool to glide, doesn't it?
Helps the tool to glide. Right. So then what we're going to do now is just take that tool and then go like that. And then turn, and then when you get to the corner, go round and drive again. And then, but what I'm doing is I'm turning the card in the background rather than because I'm quite close to the edge, Paul.
Yeah.
See, and I'm not worried about the fact that I'm going over the top. Let me come around the corner again.
Okay.
And I'm just pushing against that
edge.
Embedder.
Yeah.
All right. And then when I lift this.
You can really see that on the back as well.
Yes. And then when I lift this away, you'll see I've got a really lovely, classy, embedded.
Yeah.
There you go. So those are the two demos that I wanted to show you. One is using the stamp in black and then bringing
the image to the foreground.
Yep. And then this one is using the stamp as a color palette. And I think when you look at the number of stamps that are in that bundle, can we just take one more look over on the overhead?
Yep. Should I bring the pack
shot
shot in?
I would say we bring these in.
Yep.
And we can take a proper look at the artwork
that
you're going to be
looking at.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then we'll have a look at that great big lino cut bundle.
Okay. So you have 7 different stamp sets in this collection. You're only going to pay £28.37. Okay. The item number is 31159. So you've got Faith with the little bumblebees on here and some leaves. Then you have the Tree of Love with the little putty cat. Is this Eric or Ragnar?
Ragnar.
And then with Barb's just been showcasing there. So these stamps are normally £10 each. So Barb's showcased 2 of them. Okay, and you're going to get the rest of those stamps in this collection. This one here, Enjoy the Little Butterflies. Then we have courage, so toadstool. And I think it was great to show that, because obviously when we print these out, these are in black, so we can see them in more detail on the overhead camera. But Barb's just shown by taking this solid area and using it as a color palette. Then we move on to the next one, which is magic. And that grass is so useful, isn't it, Barb?
Yeah, because it fits exactly over the top of that.
Yeah.
So if you were going to use, say you did this in a light grey or a lighter colour, then you could take this. This could be light blue, for example, coming into a darker blue, and then you could take a dark green and wrap that over, sit that over the top. There you go. There's one, a really nice one, and you can see just a light grey, and then it's difficult. There it is. Yeah. So you can see the light grey. And then how the dark grey just tucks in nicely on the underledge. Yeah, very nice indeed.
And I think that's Posca pen's probably been splattered in the back there.
With a toothbrush?
Well. Yeah, there we go. And then the last one in the collection is Relax.
Lovely.
Those little birds.
And also the thing about this one is which way round do you want it to come in? Do you want the ginkgo from that way, so you can bring it in that way? You can put a word there, put a word there, put a little cat there. You see?
Yeah.
So it depends entirely. This one's quite versatile.
And so, because you've got all those different in the whole collection,
that's right.
Then you can really mix and match the designs.
So we've had a look at the artwork. We've had a look at this one.
Yeah.
Now I'd really like to look at the big lino bundle, and then we'll do a little demo for that as well. So if we could take a look at the big lino bundles. That would be a really good starting place. So when I first started, this was the very first set that I did.
Yes.
And we brought it's the Midnight Rose.
Yeah.
Then it was the leaves and foliage. I don't know what that one's called, but it's in there. And then the flowery one. So it was those three. They're included in this bundle.
They are indeed.
Right. Then I did another. So let's have a look at a couple of bits of artwork
from there.
Okay. So those are those three. Yeah. Let's just look at a couple of bits of artwork. You can see again, two-way overlay. They work on their own, but they also work together. So, for example, here you can see you can reverse them as well, right? Let me show you how this one, for example, it's the opposite of the black is the sky and the land. So there are so many different options.
Yeah.
Again, it's a two-way overlay. So I'm going to show you how that works and how you can also get like that drop shadow. You see the great drop shadow. So big thanks to the design team for their samples here. So that was the first set.
Okay.
And then the second set,
which I think was it towards the end of last year or was it this year?
These are from original lino cuts that I did. And you can see here we've got the birds, again, the positive and the negative. So when I place that one over the top of that one, we'll have a look in a moment, you'll see that it gives you a background. If I, for example, let's take this one, the cliffs, and you can see there, if I pop that one over the top of that one, the moon is already, let's have a look. It's in the picture. It's built in.
Right.
Yeah. So that really, you don't have to put it there. It's already there. So you've got the flower, the birds, flowers. You've got the cliffs. And then you've got the birds.
These are lovely, aren't they? And this one here's got that drop shadow on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's just by offsetting it. But you can see here, there's a whole set here by Sheila. Yeah, really, really fantastic. I love these.
So you can go, that's quite
Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
You can see here, this is going to be a Sarah Brennan, where she's just used the different parts to, isn't that lovely? Very, very arty.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that whole set, right? So we've got the three trilogies.
Yes.
Right. We've got the landscape trilogy and then we've got the floral trilogy. So we've done that one.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, we decided to do a really superb
sampler.
So the sampler takes elements and reduces all those different images and creates this look of lino, like tiny little lino cuts. And then this one here, this big black one, there's your color. So you've got all of these, but then you've got the color.
Yeah.
So if we look at some of the artwork there, you'll see exactly what I mean. You could go to the tiniest little, look. So you stamp that in black, but that block will give you the color in the background.
And these little cards here that you're showcasing, they actually come in this complete bundle as well, because you get the bijou card blanks and envelopes with 2 embedders in there as well.
Right. So you can see how this is, this works really beautifully. This is a great one by Sonia. I like that she's actually used that solid as a complement as well. So not only as an infill. So she's got the images there, it's very mixed media, but then she's used the watery
version to create
isn't
a
that
block.
great? And this, for example, you can excuse me, you can make a whole panel with all the different, I mean, very beautiful
like a film
artwork.
strip, isn't it?
That's right. You can block them up. You can see how the color's been. It's just that one stamp, three colors the same.
Yeah.
So love this idea though. Love using that block like that.
And there's 20 stamps on that A4 stamp set.
Yeah, so I thought if it was all right, we've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd just, if you just talk about the numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the item number for that big collection is 11729. Your price that you're going to pay is £43.16. And as I mentioned earlier, this stamp set, the large A4, is £29.99 normally on its own. So for an extra £13, and you also get 2 mega mounts in there as well.
You get 2 mega mounts, which I've got here.
Yeah. And the bijou card back. These are Dave does these, doesn't he?
Yeah. So all included, just apart from the stamps in the bundle, you get everything you need really. So we've got these 2 mega mounts, because I think you need a pair, because you need one for the positive and one for the negative.
Yeah.
Right. And then Dave, he makes these packs for us. And if we look in here, we've got the envelopes, which are marvelous. So you've got envelopes, and then you've got cards. We've got 20 of each, plus the little baby embedders.
Yeah.
Right. And then you've got these scored but not folded cards as well, which are pretty special.
Top quality, isn't it? I mean,
that's
the envelopes are 100 GSM and the card is 300 GSM. Now you can get refills as well, so don't think, oh, once I can only get it in the bundle. Just put bijou card blanks into the website and you'll be able to bring those up.
So if I use the mega mounts that are included in the pack now, you'll see, because these are quite tall stamps, it's useful to have these as well. So what we'll do is, for positioning, this is quite good, because I want to show you how you can use them on their own, but you can use them together as well.
This is a really good trick, this.
So if I take this one and I pop that on there like so.
Yeah.
Right, what's the trick then, Paul?
It's about getting the next one positioned on the second mega mount.
So I've got that one.
Yeah.
Right, so now I'm going to pop this one where I want it. So it's like
a sort of a stamping platform, isn't it? Yeah.
And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to attach this one to that one. So now that is in the same place as that on those mounts.
Yeah.
So I could use these. This is a printing trick, really. I could make a little. What you do in printing is you make a little like a jig, and then yeah, that's how it works.
Right.
But for us, the joys of transparent stamping, you can see through the stamp, so you can see exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So let's just take the card that it comes with.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll pop let's just take that, exactly what we did before when I stamped up the toadstool.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Using the black archival.
So this is going to give you sort of your solid area.
It is. It's going to give us, I mean, it's entirely up to me. I can look at the moment. Okay. Yeah. I'm using for the Midnight Rose, you can see I'm inking this bit up in black.
Okay.
But because both of them are in black here, you can't see the magic.
No.
So let me just take this particular stamp and I'll ink up this one.
Yeah.
And then I'll stamp it onto one of our little cards, and I'll put it offset a little bit because I want to put maybe a message or a sticker up the side.
And they come with little sentiments, don't they, as well, on those, which are also two-way overlay.
Which are also two-way overlay.
Yeah.
So let me just stamp this up and make sure that we've got the image right. And I want to show you how you can, so you get a beautiful, crisp, just in black, you know what I mean? if we take this now, you'll see it's exactly as it comes. And here you can see it says, ain't that the truth? It's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah.
It's always darkest before the dawn. And this fits into that.
Yes.
So you can either use this one or that one or put them together.
Yep. So there's like a piece of artwork here that's using one of the other stamp sets, if I can bring in. And you can see this one here is your Follow Your Heart, one of the stamps.
Yes.
And then that one there is just a line art, isn't it?
There you go.
So you can see the different look. They're very similar to the sticker word booklets, aren't
That's
they?
right. It works really well together.
Yeah.
So let's just say I've used this one like that.
Okay.
And now I'm going to, so let me, good housekeeping, let me just take that there. And now, just as we did before with the block print, this time I'm going to use ink to put on here.
On the second one.
Just as we did before.
Yeah.
So now this time I'll pick 2 colours. I've just got, the point is as well that the moon's already in here because you're going to wonder where the moon comes from.
Of course.
So if I take those 2 colours now, and I take a spot-on sponge.
Yeah.
So I've got choices. I can put the spot-on sponge, I can put the ink directly onto the stamp like this, just to get it started.
Like you did with the previous demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would start on the light colour.
Okay.
Let's pop the light colour in first.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to do that first. And I can always, I'm lefty, so I need it on my left-hand side. So I can come in now and I can add a little bit of blue, light blue. And then I'm coming down, I'm travelling up now into the dark blue of the stamp. Do you remember like we did earlier on? It feels like yesterday. Like we did earlier on, where I just...
Yeah, you blended the colours. It was the blue and the yellow, and you had that lovely green in the middle.
But I've also added a little bit of that lighter colour now there. So we've got, because we've got a background. We're doing 2 things here. So let's just see what happens. If I take this one, I'm going to use it on its own, so you can see what it looks like on its own.
Right. Okay.
And then
how they work independent of one another.
Let's see how they work if you use them on their own. I could just feel that this one needs a bit more ink. Can you see me here?
Yeah.
Right, let's see what we've got. So when I lift this up, I can feel there's a little bit of film on this one. Can you see that? A little bit of residual. It's not picking up the ink very well. I can see that. So before I carry on, because this is what can happen at home as well.
Yeah.
I've got that, you remember that? It's got some sort of film on it.
So, because obviously they're manufactured, they're made by hand, but obviously they go through various different solutions. And I know in the past, Bob, we've often said that when you get your stamp home, just stamp it out with it on an ink pad just to condition it.
That's it.
But because this was sort of not off the cuff of the show, we knew what we was doing, but and then it was
we ran out of time to do prep, so I've had to grab and wing it here a little bit, which isn't like me. So, but it's all right. I'm cool with it. It just, this stamp, because it was an old stamp, I thought it would be seasoned, but it isn't. So that's all right though. Yeah, I can, if I can live with it.
Also, it shows that if some of our friends at home, maybe they've got stamps in their collection that they haven't used for a while, and then they go back to use it. So that's really important, I think, to sort of show. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but this rubbing alcohol, if you just wipe it with that, it will take off. I don't know, I might have used an embossing pad or anything.
Yeah.
A Versamark, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something to glaze it. Something, I put something on it anyway, and then I didn't clean it off, clearly. So now I'm just going to go again. And, you know, it's worth going again, you know, just.
And if you're not happy when you're looking at it, just like Barb was there,
it's not going to get better.
No, you could obviously see that there was something, you wasn't happy with the application of the ink.
Yeah.
So rather than stamp it out and go, oh, that was rubbish, just get rid.
Let's have a look. So if let's I'm going to go again with a little bit of water, just a little bit, because I really like
that sort of the mottled
effect. Yeah. So let's see if it works, and then what we'll do is so this is the other stamp.
Yeah. From the 2 that's in that one.
From the 2 that's in the
set.
set. That's it. So I'm going to just stamp it up. Sometimes you just got to stamp it to season it almost.
Yeah.
So let's see what we get if we ink this up now. Very nice.
Nice.
So you can see I've got a really nice mottled background.
Yeah.
So now let's call it seasoning the ink pad.
Yeah.
Now, so I've got that one and I've got that one, and now I want to put them together.
Okay.
So just a little bit more ink.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll add just a bit of lightness so it's not so dark.
Yeah, I mean, this will be magic when the two come together.
We hope.
But I think that from the design of the lino cut, I think they're quite forgiving, aren't they?
Yeah,
in
they
that
are.
respect.
They are
because
very.
of the lines in the back. What's that called when
Chatter.
Chatter.
Yeah, that's right. It's chatter. So what we're going to do now is we've got a little bit more ink on there. So let's see what happens. And what I want to do is just add a bit of water again, just to add a little bit of, it just spreads the ink out a little bit. And then what we'll do is, is my head in the way?
No, you're all good.
So what I'm going to do now is just hover over until I can see the line art, right? And then if I want to make a little drop shadow, then I'm going to come over, and if I can see the black a bit better, you'll see. If I come up, I'll show you what I mean.
You can just about see.
Can you see if I move around?
Through. Yes.
Right. So let me just lift that up a little bit and see what happens. If I go, which way do I want the drop shadow to go? Let's go that way. There you go. Let's see what happens. In for a penny. You know, all it is a bit of card.
And you get 20 of those little card plates, and then you can cut them into two as well. You can get little toppers.
There you go.
Wow.
So you can see you've got that fabulous, you've got the moon in place, and you've got the drop. I wanted to make sure that the highlight was on the side of the moon.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it looks like it's
it really can sit on that hill there in the background.
So if I take this one and bring it up, you can see what I've done is black one first, background next. But you can see how the highlight hits.
Yes.
And if you look at any of the others, that will tell you. I'm just going to clean my stamp off, and Paul's going to just treat you to a few more samples maybe, and the line art. And then you can see how this works
overhead.
now.
Okay, so there we go. This is the A4 sampler set. So, for example, if I bring this larger stamp that you're going to get in the bijou version, you can see there's a little bird there where they've been taken.
So you can see the size difference as well.
There we go. That's better. So we've got that. And so there's like those little cliffs which are here. So you've got that A4 sampler stamp set. Then you have got the birds. You've got your various different leaves and foliage. The midnight rose that Barb was just showcasing there. And then all of the others are coming through. This one was the Swift, wasn't it? Be True, Be You.
Absolutely marvellous.
Seize the Day. There we go. And then if we have a look at a combination of smart, I love this one here, that little sort of panel stamp.
That's it. So what I want to do now
Yeah.
is just before we call it a day until 2 o'clock,
yeah.
what I'd really like to do is just show you how amazing that bijou set is.
The sampler.
Yeah, because even the two-way overlays that I've just shown you, they're not large, but these are tiny. So let me just show you a trick, and then you'll see what I mean. So I've got a gel press, gel press, jelly plate. Right, I'm teeing up for the new year. I mean, let's see, on Saturday we've got our collage online workshop in the Circle, and over nearly 100 of you have signed up for that. So that's very exciting. I'm getting ready in January to tee up a 3-part jelly plate online course, and I think that it's time. It's time. Yeah. So when I show you this background, a lot of it has to do with the gel press. But if you like this kind of thing, this is the kind of thing that we're going to be working towards. So here, for example, was a print.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what I've done is I've taken that print and I've chopped it into little pieces.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And then I've put I've just chopped it up, and then I've put a Sharpie pen around the outside. So going back to those cards that
Bijou
are in the
card back.
set,
Yeah.
right? So these are absolutely just the right size for these little tiny
Oh, look, I
notelets.
love this one. It's got like a scene in it
Really
already,
nice. When you
hasn't it?
start to isolate them, you can really see.
Yeah.
So then what you're doing now is you're looking, for example, at the parts. So you're looking at the little elements of acrylic paint, the scraps at the back. And now now you need your, and it's got that real arty, grungy effect.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at your stamps here and you're deciding which one do you want to go for, right? I really like this bird.
Okay.
So I'll take that bird and I'm going to use, let's just use one of my, the
4x4
mega mounts again.
Megamounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for, I could pick any one of these to do this job, but I need a I need an archival ink pad because it's because this is acrylic paint.
Yeah.
If I don't use a permanent ink pad, then it will wipe off.
Right.
So
it will resist
it will.
the paint.
It will. So let's say, for example, I want to put the bird on this area here. So I've got light, I've got dark. I'm going to pop him right there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put a message up there with one of our stickers. So let me just show you again. The work is in the background, and then we're just going to take this stamp, and I'm going to stamp solid black archival.
Okay.
And then I can decide which one I want, and I'm going to pop that exactly there, leaving enough gap for a sticker.
Nice.
See? So now I've got, they're beautiful little notelets. I mean, these would make fantastic little gifts.
Yeah. And what I love about this is that because you've got the texture of the acrylic paint,
so easy,
with the chatter in the little stamps, it's as if it looks as if it's been printed direct onto that little card.
I know, but you have a look at how many of these, the opportunity, look at the number of different
there's
pictures
20
you've got
stamps on there in total, and that includes your sort of infill stamp as well.
And this one, now this one is good for glazing as well. So not only is it the colour, but it's also a glazer. So if I wanted to do embossing and I wanted to completely make this bit glossy, then I'd use a Versamark and I would tile it. It's a tiling stamp.
Yeah.
But you can see how easy this is to do. And you literally stamp the colours in the background. So it's going back to the idea with the Indian summer paper.
Yeah.
It's going back to that. But obviously, and then stickers. So if we, this is just a very grungy, proper, not printed, but handmade, grungy background. You can feel the texture, right? But these stamps, because they're lino cuts, they come from proper lino cuts that I've done. They just lend themselves. They have that organic texture, like grungy, mixed media type feel.
Yeah.
And the colors in the background. So this whole demo session on these ridiculously priced stamps has been all about, where do you put the color? Do you put the color in the background? Do you put the color on the stamp?
Yes.
And these type of stamps, which are very mixed media, really, are perfect for this.
But although they're sort of mixed media, they're still classic and timeless, aren't they? Because I think you could find a stamp in this collection. I mean, for the price of £43.16, and item number £43.16 for that whole collection.
Should we have a look at it one more time?
Yeah. Should we look at?
Okay.
Where do you want to look, on the overhead, or you want to look at the pack shot?
I think we'll look at the pack shot.
Pack shot. Okay. Press that button.
Yeah.
So there we go. So you've got that A4 stamp set here, which I said earlier, and I'll say again, £29.99 normally. Then you've got your two 4.5 by 6.5 mega mounts at the bottom. Then you've got 6 A6 stamp sets. Now they're normally £9.99 each. You also then have your 20 Bijou card blanks and envelopes with a rectangle and oval embedder. And Barb showed us exactly how the embedder worked from the previous demo.
That's it.
And all of that, you're saving £65 near on, plus £43 you're going to pay with your club discount on top of that.
Wow. Okay, so that's less than £40 then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But if you're a 10% club member, that's £4 off, isn't it?
Okay, so there you are then. So, and that sampler set is £30 usually.
Yeah.
So you're all, well, all right, that'll do. I don't think we need to say anymore.
No.
I would suggest that you head on over to that
Front
set,
of the website.
because I don't think that if we sell out of those ones, we're not remaking them, right? We've
No.
got plenty of stock.
Yeah.
But if we sell out,
Then,
we're not remaking them,
no,
because
that's
at the
right.
moment we're on
Well, we just
cutback.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know why.
Mm.
And so with a big bundle like that, we've got them in stock.
Yeah.
We made them for TV, and
Yeah.
now we've got them.
Absolutely.
And now they're yours if you want them.
Yeah.
But when they're sold, they're sold.
Yeah.
That needs to be said, because usually we always make to honour.
as well.
On these big bundles,
of the 60%.
if we run out of that one, then yeah,
That's
you
it.
understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, today it's Freebie Friday. So if your shopping basket after all your deductions comes to £50, you'll get a pack of Barb's favourite Great Lakes papers. And if it's £75, you'll get the papers and a tape runner as well.
Yeah, what a bargain.
So I know, yeah, and that's until midnight tonight.
We sound desperate. We're not desperate. We just want to celebrate Black Friday and do it properly.
Absolutely.
There you go.
So
okay, thanks very much. And we'll see you back here at 2 o'clock. We're going to clear the decks now.
We are.
And then we're going to introduce another pair of really nice.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Should we?
We'll have a look in a moment.
Yeah.
Let's have a cup of tea and let's